Hey folks, today is Thursday, January 23rd, 2025. The time right now is 4:57 p.m. and I'm here at the Commerce Court West Food Court underneath the Financial District. This is part of a very large path network. And in this one, we'll be heading outside and going for a walk along King Street East. And this one should cover the entirety of King Street East between Yonge and where it ends right at River Street when it merges with Queen Street. I think I can get out of here by heading up these escalators. You could also access King Station just over there. There we go. That's King Street West, straight ahead. And a look up at Commerce Court West. And it's surprisingly mild today, at least relative to yesterday, which was the coldest day we've had all year. It is -4 right now with the wind chill. It feels closer to -8 or -9. This is King Street West. It's rather quiet rush hour tonight. But just up ahead at Yonge Street on the other side, it becomes King Street East. You could catch the 504 streetcar right here, or head down and hop on line 1. And there's a look north up Yonge Street. King Street was actually named after King Street in London, England. It's believed the street was surveyed and laid out before the street in London was officially named. And then it took its name from that street in London. There goes an eastbound 504 King Street car. That'll be heading up to Broadview Station.
Oh, right, yeah.
one of the reasons you won't see a whole lot of vehicle traffic on this stretch of King Street is that it is a designated transit priority corridor. It's been that way since 2017 between Bathurst, which is at the west end of downtown in the entertainment district, through to Jarvis. At most intersections, vehicles cannot go straight through. It was designed to keep things running smoothly during rush hour, and it's been a big success. As we walk past Victoria Street, on the right here is the King Eddie Hotel. That's part of the Omni Group. That opened back in 1903.
I don't know what.
The sort car. I once stayed at a suite in the King Eddie. I had it for just a few nights, but I did actually spend the night there. I went home and slept in my apartment. We had a number of visitors in from Houston staying at the hotel. My company thought they would put some of us up there as well, as we were all attending a big workshop together. Look down Leader Lane. And here's the headquarters of Google Canada.
You think sometime
We'll be visiting that office in a month from now. Have a meeting with a content creator rep there. All right, we can cross the street here at Church Street. This is the St. Lawrence neighborhood. There's St. James Cathedral. I lived in the St. Lawrence neighborhood when this place opened up, Quesada. Me and my friends were amused by their big-ass burrito. That bar there is the Score on King. They recently took over the old Black Bull property on Queen Street West and turned it into the Score on Queen. I've yet to go to that one. Church Street here takes its name from St. James Cathedral. There are two more fairly prominent churches just north of here on it. This is actually the third church to stand on this property. The original one's burnt down. This one went up in 1849. It's probably the most prominent and well-known church in the city.
I know. I
We
should
could pick it. We could
Well, I think this
just really helped. Oh yeah, I mean now we're.
I wonder if that's Ryan over there. We're gonna take a little detour. I made a video last year featuring the guy behind tinytinyhomes.ca. He hadn't yet had any tiny homes out in the wild. That video has taken off. It's at over 2 million views now. And there's 3 of his tiny homes straight ahead here. And I got a notification on YouTube of him dropping off one of these tiny homes. There's a couple of police officers. All right, I thought maybe that was Ryan showing off some of these homes. But you can go to tinytinyhomes.ca for more info. They are certainly much better than the alternative. Which is that right there, a tent. That might be the original one right there. And you might wonder, those ones that don't have the bicycle, what happens if the city wants to clear them out and brings in the cops? Well, Ryan will come help move people and relocate them. The ones without the bikes can just be pulled along. I think it was important just to get as many out in the wild as they could as the cold, freezing winter sets in. There's the St. Lawrence Hall. That was built in 1851. It's housed a lot of concerts and banquets and weddings and that sort of thing over the years, and it still serves that purpose to this day. I did a walk through there as part of Doors Open a few years ago. Jarvis Street, as you can see, they have no right or no left turns, and you can't go straight. So if you're driving, you have to turn right here.
He's been very nice to me. Yeah. He appreciates the work I do. Yes, very nice.
No, literally.
This area is known for having a lot of design and furniture stores. There's a gallery across the street. You'll also see a lot of George Brown College students, as we're about to walk past one of their campuses. Here's George Street. I have no idea how long the camera was facing me for. Hopefully it wasn't too long. There is Le Petit Déjeuner. Very quaint Belgium-Canadian diner, the LPD Cafe, since 2002.
Oh, sure.
The pedestrian activity is going to thin out the further east I get. There's a 503 Kingston streetcar. They have a culinary school at George Brown, and I think this is part of it. Some fancy furniture stores over here. I've often joked this one, design within reach, is really design not within reach. Prices in there are stupidly high. And the more modest, but still not too cheap, EQ3. That's on the level of a CB2 or West Elm. There's a 508 Lakeshore streetcar. That is going all the way to Long Branch, to the border of Mississauga, pretty much. Hop on that thing and go for a long ride. Here was my favorite bar in the city, Betty's. Originally the Betty Ford Clinic. Closed due to developers redeveloping the property. But it sat vacant for several years now. This South Street Burger closed down. I wonder if that's due to the redevelopment of this building. That was a chain originally owned by the people behind New York Fries. I think they sold it off a while ago. That building over on the right used to be Toronto Sun headquarters. They moved up to Bloor Street East, where the National Post are located. It's a local tabloid. known for a pretty good sports section and Sunday comics, and I guess the Sunshine Girl, but not a whole lot else worth reading in that rag. I couldn't even tell you what that place is. High-end kitchen design. Bullthop. Some kind of catered event going on in there. This is a very expensive furniture store kiosk. This one is Klaus. Oops. And another one, Ital Interiors. That's the distillery district off in the distance. As we find ourselves at Berkeley. That's a staging site for Ontario Line construction. And we're in a part of town known as Corktown. Named after those who came to the area from the County Cork in Ireland. This is actually one of the first streets in Toronto. It was laid out in 1793, and a lot of the older buildings we're walking by go back to the 1800s. And the street was first constructed. The city of Toronto was known as the city of York. That area around St. James Cathedral was actually where the first financial district in the city was located. I wonder if in 100 years from now someone will be walking by going, there's where Blinds to Go was once located. I doubt it. We're leaving the St. Lawrence neighborhood as we're going past Parliament Street. And the oldest still operating church is right across the street there, Little Trinity. More furniture and design. This is an area that never seems to have that much in the way of pedestrian activity. There's A ginormous dog. This place is well known for its treats. Roselle. Speaking of fancy, expensive furniture, that's Studio B. Seems to not want us to peek into the showroom. It's a cute little bar. Henrietta Lane. I remember walking by a Sackville playground here during the pandemic, thinking how ridiculous it was that it had closed off a public park. I think this is Sackville Street, which was interrupted by Adelaide and Richmond Street. It continues on the other side and goes through Regent Park and up through Corktown.
It may go juicy.
There is Gusto 501. We've got another one over near Queen and Portland in the entertainment district. Been meaning to try there, I've just never been. As we head underneath Adelaide and Richmond Streets. Murals in this underpass went in 2014. That lady was practically stomping on my heels. I thought I'd just stop for a second. Really cute little street, Bright Street. And this is Sumac Street, but just to the south of here it becomes Cherry Street. That'll lead you past an entrance to the Distillery District. And Sumac here cuts through Regent Park and Cabbagetown as well. Of course, way back when There was no Regent Park, it was just all Cabbagetown. It's another 508. There were streetcar routes proposed along King Street East at one point. And I think even some of the Relief Line, now the Ontario Line plans called for that. You have to wonder what would have happened to the streetcar service had those plans have gone through. I think the 503 and 508 would still be needed. First month unlimited for $2.15. Although I guess the 508 and 503 could have been rerouted along Queen. That would save the city from having to maintain these tracks. Ladybug Wine Bar. And here's where King Street ends. It merges with Queen Street. And kind of ironically, it ends at the very west, right at Queen Street as well. It runs parallel to Queen Street for the most part. There is Underpass Park straight ahead. Humane Society across the street, and we are steps away from being at the end of King Street. We're also at the eastern edge of downtown. So we'll be passing over the Don Valley pretty soon. Corktown Common just off in the distance. I'm guessing this line here would represent the end of King Street. As we walk along the Queen Street Viaduct. Over a frozen Don River. There's the Don Valley Parkway. And we're entering Riverdale. More specifically, this stretch is known as Riverside. DVP. I think I want to catch this streetcar. So as I run and try to chase it down, I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below if you wish to support what I do on YouTube. There's links to my Patreon and YouTube channel membership down in the description. I have an Instagram account at Johnny Strides. And there is a super thanks button appearing down below if you wish to say thanks that way. Whew, thank you for watching, and I will catch you on the next one. Yoink.